The plate was empty. No crumbs, no sauce, nothing. Anita's fingers trembled as she lifted it. She was only trying to clear the table. She was only trying not to cry because the billionaire had just walked out without leaving even a $1 tip after eating a meal that cost more than her 3 months' rent. But the moment she lifted the plate, her whole world stopped. There, on the shiny white tablecloth of the upscale Ikoyi restaurant, was a folded piece of paper. Small, neat, perfectly centered, like someone had placed it there on purpose and made sure it would not move. Anita frowned. Her heart started beating faster. Maybe it's just a napkin, she whispered to herself, but napkins were soft. This one was not. With shaky hands, Anita picked up the folded note and opened it. Her eyes moved over the handwriting once. Slowly. Then again. Faster. Then a third time, as her mouth silently repeated the words, "Your parents' death was not an accident. I can help you back on your feet." Anita's knees almost gave way. She grabbed the back of the chair to stop herself from falling. Her parents. Her parents. The word rang in her head like a bell in a quiet church. 6 years of pain hit her chest at once. 6 years of tears. 6 years of trying to forget the sound of screeching tires and breaking glass that she still heard in her dreams. Her vision blurred. Her breathing grew heavy. Someone knew. Someone knew about that night. Who put this here? She whispered, but she already knew the answer. Because at the bottom of the note, written in the same neat handwriting, were 2 letters and a name, E. Okafor. Her eyes widened. Emeka Okafor, the billionaire CEO who had just left her a $0 tip. The same man whose face was on magazines in the supermarket. The same man people whispered about when he entered the restaurant. The same man who had sat at this very table less than 3 minutes ago, calm and quiet, eating his grilled fish and sipping his sparkling water like a man who owned half of Lagos. Anita's chest rose and fell quickly. She looked up. Through the glass wall of the restaurant, she saw the bright Ikoyi evening. Cars honked softly on the road. Expensive jeeps and a few taxis moved slowly past. The sky was orange and pink, but she was not looking at the sky. She was searching for one thing. His car, his driver, his shadow. Her eyes scanned the parking lot, and suddenly froze. A black SUV with dark tinted windows was still parked near the gate. Her heart jumped. He's still here. Anita! The shout snapped her back. She quickly crushed the note in her palm and turned around. Her manager, Mr. Bayo, stood by the kitchen door, his hands on his hips, his belly pushing against his tight shirt. His face looked angry, as always. "What are you doing standing there?" he barked. "Table 7 is waiting. Table 3 needs water. Move quickly. This is not your father's house." Father. The word hit her like a slap. She swallowed hard and forced air into her lungs. "Yes, sir," she said quietly, hiding the note inside her apron pocket. She wanted to scream. She wanted to run to the parking lot. She wanted to bang on that SUV window and drag the billionaire out and shout, "What do you know about my parents?" But she couldn't. Not yet. Not in the middle of the restaurant. Not with other customers watching. Not with her manager shouting and her job on the line. So she did the only thing she could in that moment. She obeyed. A few hours earlier, that morning had started like any other bad morning in Anita's life. Her alarm rang by 5 a.m. In her tiny one-room apartment in Oberlende, the fan struggled to turn. The air was hot. The power had gone off and come back again in the night. A small bucket of water stood in the corner. There was no fridge, no TV, just a mattress, a small table, and a plastic chair. Anita sat up slowly and rubbed her eyes. Her parents' faces flashed in her mind like they always did when she woke up. Her mother's soft smile. Her father's tired but proud eyes. "Good morning, Mum." "Good morning, Dad," she whispered to the empty room. They were gone. 6 years now. But the pain still felt fresh. They had been coming back from a night vigil, the day of the so-called accident. A truck, a sharp corner, rain on the road, and a phone call that broke her life into 2 pieces, before and after. Everyone said, "It was God's will. It was an accident. Take heart." But sometimes at night, Anita remembered the way her uncle had whispered on the phone, the way her auntie had quickly ended a call when she entered the room, the way police officers had kept saying, "Just sign here." without looking her in the eyes. Something had always felt wrong, but she was 18 then, poor, alone, with no one to fight for her, so she had swallowed her questions and focused on surviving. She dropped out of school, started working as a cleaner, then as a waitress in a small buka. Then, by a miracle, one rich woman she served liked her polite manners and helped her get a job in this upscale Ikoyi restaurant. Rich people give big tips, the woman had told her. You just smile and serve well. Big tips? Sometimes. But many days, Anita went home with tired legs, a fake smile stuck to her face, and only a few crumpled Naira notes in her bag. Still, she was grateful. The job kept her alive. That morning, as she ironed her black trousers and white shirt, she spoke to herself in the cracked mirror. You will be fine, Anita, she said. One day, things will change. One day, God will remember you. She had no idea that one day would be today. Back at the restaurant, by 6 p.m., the restaurant was full. Soft music played in the background. Golden lights hung from the ceiling. The smell of fried prawns, grilled fish, and jollof rice filled the air. Men in suits laughed loudly. Women in fine dresses checked their reflection in their phone cameras. Foreigners took pictures of the fancy plates. Anita moved between tables like a shadow. Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma, she said over and over, her voice calm and polite as she carried heavy trays and balanced plates without shaking. Her feet hurt. Her back ached. But she did not stop smiling. When table 5 walked in, everything changed. She didn't notice him at first. She only saw the manager rushing to the door, his smile suddenly very wide, his eyes shining with fake respect. Good evening, sir, he shouted. Welcome, sir. It is an honor, sir. Anita turned to look. A tall, dark-skinned man stepped in, wearing a simple but very expensive-looking black shirt and dark trousers. His wristwatch shone softly. He walked with quiet confidence, like he did not need to prove anything to anyone. It was Emeka Okafor. Even Anita, who didn't have time for gossip, knew his face. Billionaire CEO, owner of big tech companies, the man who had turned a small startup into a giant in just a few years. People online called him the Silent Lion of Lagos. Now he was here, in her restaurant. Anita, the manager hissed, snapping his fingers. You will handle table 5. Make sure everything is perfect. Do you hear me? Her heart beat faster. Yes, sir. She walked to his table with her notepad. Good evening, sir. You're welcome, she said softly. His eyes met hers for a brief second. They were calm, deep, and sharp, like eyes that had seen many things and kept many secrets. He gave a small nod. What do you recommend? He asked in a smooth, gentle voice. Anita explained the menu. He listened quietly, then ordered grilled croaker fish, sautéed vegetables, jollof rice, and sparkling water. Throughout the meal, he did not laugh loudly like the other rich men. He did not shout at her when she delayed a little in bringing extra pepper sauce. He just sat there, eating slowly, sometimes looking out through the glass wall at the traffic outside as if his mind was far away. Once, Anita caught him looking at her. Not in a bad way. Not like some men did. His eyes were studying her, like he was trying to confirm something. She quickly looked away. When he finished his meal, he wiped his mouth with the napkin, stood up, and walked to the counter to pay. No smile. No anger. Just calm. He left a signature, took his receipt, and walked out with the same quiet steps. Anita watched him go, her heart doing small flips in her chest for reasons she did not understand. Then she rushed back to his table. Maybe he left a tip. Maybe today would be different. Her eyes went straight to the small silver tray where customers usually dropped money. It was empty. No dollars. No naira. Nothing. Her face fell. After all that stress, she muttered. Not even $1? Hurt rushed through her chest. She tried to swallow it down. She needed to clear the table quickly before the manager started shouting again. She picked up the glass, gathered the cutlery, then grabbed the plate, and that was when she saw the note. Now back in the present, standing over the table, the note burning in her palm, Anita's mind spun. Your parents' death was not an accident. I can help you back on your feet. How did he know about her parents? Why would a billionaire CEO care about a poor waitress from Oberlande? Why had he left no money but a message that felt heavier than a bag of gold? Her heart pounded so loudly she could barely hear the music playing in the restaurant. She looked again through the glass wall. The black SUV's engine came on. The car began to roll slowly towards the exit. If she let him go now, she might never see him again. If she ran after him, she might lose her job. Her manager's voice boomed again from behind. Anita, if you don't move faster, don't come back tomorrow. Her throat felt dry. The note crumpled tighter in her hand. The SUV was getting closer to the gate. Her legs shook. In that moment, Anita knew one thing. Whatever choice she made in the next 5 seconds would change her life forever. She sucked in a deep breath, and suddenly dropped the tray on the nearest table and ran. Straight past the other waiters, past the shocked customers, past her shouting manager. Her apron flew behind her as she pushed open the glass door and burst into the evening air. "Stop," she cried, her voice breaking. "Please. Wait." The black SUV slowed. For a second, it seemed like it would keep going. Then, slowly, it stopped. The back door opened, and there, sitting inside, looking straight at her with those calm, deep eyes, was Emeka Okafor. "Good," he said quietly, his voice steady. "You found the note." Anita's heart hammered in her chest as she stood there, chest rising and falling, the sound of Lagos fading around her, because the next words from his mouth were even more shocking than the note itself. "Get in," he said, "before they see you with me." Anita froze. The evening breeze brushed her face, but she couldn't feel anything. Her mind was spinning. Her throat felt tight. Her heart was thumping like someone knocking on a door from inside her chest. "Guy? Get in?" she stammered. Emeka Okafor didn't blink, didn't smile, didn't look confused. He simply repeated, calmly, "Before they see you with me." The restaurant door swung open behind her. "Anita!" Her manager's angry voice exploded into the air. "Where do you think you are going? Come back here this minute." Anita panicked. Her legs wanted to run in 2 different directions. Back inside? Into the billionaire's SUV? She looked at Emeka again. His eyes were steady, firm, serious, like someone who had already decided she was getting into that car, whether she agreed or not. And then she remembered the note. "Your parents' death was not an accident. I can help you back on your feet." Her breath shook. "Anita." Her manager was almost at the door now. She stepped forward. Her hand touched the cold metal of the car door. "Good," Emeka murmured again. She slipped into the back seat, the door shutting behind her with a soft thump just as her manager stormed outside. But by the time he looked around, the SUV had already joined the traffic. Anita pressed her back against the seat, her chest rising and falling fast. The inside of the car smelled clean and expensive leather and something soft like vanilla. The tinted windows made everything outside look darker. Emeka sat beside her, legs relaxed, face unreadable. For almost 10 seconds, he didn't say a word. Neither did she. Her fingers tightened around her apron. The crushed note was still inside the pocket, like a burning piece of truth she wasn't ready to touch. Finally, she whispered, "Why? Why did you leave me that message?" He turned his head slightly, watching her with those quiet, sharp eyes. "Because someone lied to you," he said. Anita's heartbeat skipped. "About what?" she asked, her voice breaking a little. "About the night your parents died." Her throat closed. He continued, "They didn't die in an accident, Anita. They were killed." Her world shook. The word "killed" echoed in her mind again and again. She swallowed hard. "No, no, sir," she whispered weakly. The police said. The police were paid off. Her mouth fell open. Her hands felt cold. "Paid off? To lie? By who? What do you mean?" she whispered. Emeka didn't look away. "Someone powerful wanted them gone. And now that person wants you quiet too." Anita's breath caught. Me? Why me?" "Because you survived," he said simply. "Because you ask questions. Because you don't bend easily, and because you don't know the secret your parents almost exposed." A cold shiver ran down Anita's arms. "My parents were cleaners," she said, her voice small. "They worked in a church. They didn't fight anybody. And yet," Emeka replied calmly, "they were killed." Silence filled the car. Her throat felt too dry to speak. Her eyes stung. Finally, she whispered, How do you know all this?" This time, Emeka looked away out the tinted window as though remembering something from long ago. "I knew your father," he said quietly. "Before everything started, Anita's eyes widened so fast it hurt. You knew him? Yes. But how? Why didn't he ever mention you? Emeka sighed softly. Because your father worked as an informant for one of my companies. He discovered something dangerous. Something that could destroy a very powerful man. The same man who made his death look like an accident. Anita's chest tightened like a rope was pulling it inward. My father? She whispered. My simple, gentle father? He was helping you? Helping your company? Yes, Emeka said. He was brave, very brave. Her eyes filled with tears, she didn't even notice falling. Her father. Brave? Her father, helping expose danger? He had been just a quiet man, always tired, always praying, always trying to provide. How long have you known? She whispered. 6 years. Anita's mouth parted. 6 years? 6 years? He had known since the beginning? So all this time, she said shakily. You kept quiet. You left me alone to suffer. Emeka didn't flinch. I was waiting, he said. Waiting for the right moment. Waiting for the right proof. Proof of what? He turned back to her. Proof that the man behind their death is finally making a mistake. Anita hugged herself, suddenly cold. Who is he? She whispered. Who killed my parents? Emeka leaned forward slightly, lowering his voice. It's someone you already know. Anita's heart nearly stopped. Someone I know? She breathed. Yes. Someone who pretended to care about you after your parents died. Her mind raced. Her uncle? Her auntie? Her pastor? Her father's friend who came for burial. Who? She cried softly, fear and anger mixing. Emeka didn't answer immediately. He watched her carefully, like he was studying her reaction. Then he said, You are not safe where you are. Someone has been watching you. Anita's entire body went numb. Watching me? Yes. Since when? Since the day you turned 18, he replied. Since your parents died. They want to know if you will remember anything. But I don't remember anything, Anita whispered. I wasn't even there. They left home. I stayed behind. She froze. A memory small and blurry flashed in her mind. A whisper. A phone call. Her father looking nervous before leaving the house, telling her mother, if anything happens, protect Anita. Her heartbeat quickened. Emeka watched her closely. You are starting to remember something, aren't you? Anita shook her head fast, wiping her tears. I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure. It's okay, he said gently. Memories come when they are ready. Suddenly, the SUV stopped at a red light. Anita looked around. They were no longer in Ikoyi. They were crossing 3rd Mainland Bridge. Her fear increased. Where are we going? She whispered. To somewhere safe, he said. I already told you, Anita whispered, her voice shaking. Why should I trust you? Emeka leaned back calmly. Because, he said quietly, the people chasing you want you gone before the week ends. The week ends. Gone. Her breath hitched painfully. What do you mean? She whispered. I mean, he said, his voice low and serious. Last night, your name entered a list. A list? Yes. A list of people who must disappear. Anita gasped, her hands flying to her mouth. Tears rolled down her cheeks as she shook her head again and again. No, why? I didn't do anything. I didn't fight anybody. I'm just a waitress. And that, Emeka said, is exactly why they think you won't fight back. The SUV made a sudden turn into a quiet, empty road. Anita's breathing grew faster. The billionaire watched her, his voice calm but urgent. You need the truth, Anita. And if you want answers, real answers, then you must come with me. She stared at him, tears wetting her chin. I just want to know who killed my parents, she whispered. And you will, Emeka replied. But first, you must survive long enough to hear the truth. The SUV slowed, then stopped. Anita turned her head slowly, and her blood ran cold, because outside the window, standing under a streetlight, was a man she recognized. Someone familiar. Someone who should not be here. He lifted his head, his eyes locked with hers, and he smiled. Anita gasped. No, it can't be him, she whispered. Emeka's expression hardened. Now do you understand? He said softly. Why I came for you tonight. The man standing under the streetlight smiled wider, slow, cold, and almost familiar in a way that made her stomach twist. It was Mr. OK, her parents' old church friend. The same man who brought food to her house after the burial. The same man who told her to stay strong. The same man who hugged her and said, "Your parents are in heaven. Let the past go." The same man who slowly stopped visiting, but always seemed to know things about her life before she told anyone. Her throat grew tight. Why is he here?" she whispered, shaking. "How did he find us?" Emeka didn't look away from the window. "He wasn't looking for us, Anita," he said calmly. "He was looking for you." Anita's heart dropped like a stone. "But he's just a church member," she whispered. Just a family friend." Emeka finally turned to face her. "No, Anita," he said seriously. "He was never your family friend. He was the man assigned to watch you after your parents died." The world around her spun. What do you mean assigned?" she asked, her voice trembling. Emeka's face hardened, his jaw tense. "I mean he works for the man who ordered your parents' death," he said. "And now he's here to confirm if you're starting to remember anything." Anita covered her mouth with both hands. Outside, Mr. OK took a slow step forward, still smiling in that chilling way, like someone who already knew how the night would end. The driver of Emeka's SUV whispered, "Sir, he's coming closer." Anita's breathing grew faster, louder, quicker. "What does he want from me?" she cried softly. "Why can't they leave me alone?" Emeka's voice lowered. "Because your parents discovered something dangerous, something they tried to protect you from. Their enemies want to know if you have that same information. But I don't know anything," she cried. "I don't even remember anything." "That doesn't matter," Emeka said. "As long as they think you might know something. You are a threat." A hot tear rolled down Anita's cheek. She wiped it quickly with shaking fingers. Outside, Mr. OK came closer. Then he did the strangest thing. He lifted his phone and took a picture of the SUV. Emeka reacted immediately. "Drive," he commanded. The driver stepped on the accelerator. The SUV shot forward, leaving the streetlight behind and Mr. OK shrinking into the darkness. But Anita could still see his smile in her mind, wide, wicked, and full of hidden meaning. The road back to the island. The SUV sped across a quieter part of the bridge. Anita held the door handle tightly, her voice shaking. "He took a picture," she whispered. "Why? Why would he do that?" "So he can send proof," Emeka replied. "Proof that you were with me." "But isn't that worse?" Anita asked. "Won't the people you're talking about come after both of us?" "Yes," Emeka said calmly. Anita stared at him, shocked. "You're not scared?" she asked. He shook his head. "I've been waiting for this moment," he said. "I just didn't expect it to happen tonight." Anita blinked hard. "Why did you come to my restaurant?" she asked. "Why today? Why now?" "Because the investigation into your parents' death opened again." "Yesterday," Emeka said. "Someone inside the system made a mistake and leaked a file. A file about their last phone call before they died." Anita felt sick. "My dad's last phone call?" she whispered. "Who did he call?" Emeka looked straight into her eyes. "He called me," he said. Anita covered her mouth again, stunned. "My dad called you? Why? What did he say?" Emeka sighed deeply. "I never told you this part," he said. "But before he died, your father found evidence, real evidence of corruption that involved politicians, businessmen, and even his own boss at the church." Anita shook her head rapidly. No. My parents were peaceful. They didn't fight anybody. They didn't know powerful people." "That's what you think," Emeka replied quietly. "But the truth is, they discovered something in the church accounts. Something that could destroy very important men who were using the church to hide stolen money." Anita's lips trembled. "Are you saying my parents were killed because of church money?" "Not just money," Emeka corrected. "The church was being used as a cover for illegal financial activities. Your father found out. Your mother begged him to keep quiet. But he chose to help me expose them." Anita's eyes filled again. "My dad?" she whispered. "My quiet, gentle daddy. He was fighting corruption." "Yes," Emeka said. "He was braver than you know." Anita's voice broke. "But if he was helping you, why didn't you protect him? Why didn't you protect us?" The pain in her voice made Emeka look away for the first time. I tried, he said softly. But the people behind this are far more powerful than you can imagine. And if I had come forward earlier, they would have killed you too. Anita hugged herself tightly, trying to stop her shaking. So what now? She whispered. What do they want from me? They want silence, Emeka said. The same thing they wanted from your father. Anita felt tears running down her chin again. I didn't ask for any of this, she whispered. No one ever does. Emeka replied gently. The car entered an underground parking garage beneath a tall building on VI. The gate closed behind them with a loud metal bang that echoed around the concrete walls. For the first time, Anita realized how alone she and Emeka were. Her breathing grew uneven. Where are we? She asked. My safe house, he said. No cameras, no trackers. No one knows this place except me. The doors locked automatically. The lights flickered on soft, white, quiet. The driver stepped out first. Then, Emeka. He held the door for Anita. Come, he said quietly. You're safe now. But as Anita stepped out of the car, she froze again, because on the floor, right beside the elevator door, was something strange. A small red envelope. Neat. Perfect. Just sitting there. Emeka's face darkened immediately. That was not there before, he said, voice low. Anita stared at it, her heart slamming against her ribs. What is it? She whispered. Emeka slowly bent down and picked it up. He opened it. His jaw tightened. His eyes turned sharp. He passed the paper to Anita. Her fingers shook as she unfolded it. There were only 4 words written inside, words that drained the blood from her face. Anita gasped and stumbled backward. Emeka caught her arm. His voice grew cold. They found us faster than I expected. Anita's chest felt tight again. What? What do we do now? Emeka looked toward the elevator, then back at her. His next words made Anita's knees weaken. We run, now. Anita's legs almost gave way. Run? Run where? From who? How did they even know she was inside this building? Her breaths came fast and shaky, like someone had pressed fear into her lungs. Emeka gripped her arm gently but firmly. Anita, look at me. She lifted her eyes slowly. You're not alone anymore, he said. But we need to move. Right now. The elevator doors suddenly made a soft metallic ding. Anita froze. Emeka's eyes narrowed. Driver, he said quietly, take her to the second exit. Now. The driver nodded immediately. He motioned for Anita to follow him, but Anita didn't move. Her legs felt like heavy wood. Her heartbeat echoed in her ears. Emeka, she whispered. Are they already inside the building? Emeka didn't answer, which was the same as saying yes. He stepped forward and stood between Anita and the elevator, his jaw tight, his shoulders tense. The elevator dinged again, this time louder, like something or someone was coming down. Anita took a shaky step back. The driver whispered urgently, Madam, please, come. Now, but her eyes stayed stuck on the elevator. And then, the lights flickered. Once, twice. Then, the entire underground garage went dark. Pitch black. Anita gasped loudly. Emeka, I'm here. His calm voice replied through the darkness. Don't move. But that only made her more frightened. Footsteps echoed in the dark. Not one pair. Not two. Many. Slow, heavy, coming closer. Emeka. Anita cried again, reaching out blindly. A warm hand caught hers instantly. It was his. I won't let them take you, he whispered. No matter what happens. The footsteps grew closer. And then, a flashlight beam cut through the darkness. Anita covered her eyes. The light pointed straight at Emeka, then at her. A deep, rough voice echoed, Mr. Okafor, hand over the girl. Emeka slowly stepped forward, shielding Anita behind him. His voice was calm, but cold enough to freeze the air. Tell your boss, he said. He will not touch her. Another flashlight came on. And another. And another. Now she could see them. Dark figures in black clothes, boots, and masks. Like shadows with real bodies. There were at least 6 of them. Anita's knees shook so badly she had to grab Emeka's shirt. The deep voice came again. This is your last warning. Move aside. The driver whispered behind Anita. Madam, take my hand. I know a hidden exit, please. But she couldn't move. Couldn't think. Couldn't breathe. All she could see were the masked men closing in. Emeka lifted his hands slowly, not to surrender, but to reach inside his jacket. One of the masked men shouted, "Drop the weapon," but Emeka didn't stop. He pulled out a small black device with a glowing blue button. Not a gun, something else. He pressed it. Instantly, a blinding flash filled the whole garage, like lightning had exploded indoors. Anita screamed. The masked men shouted. Someone dropped their flashlight. For 2 seconds, everything was white. Then, dark again, but different. The masked men were stumbling, rubbing their eyes, blinded. "Now!" Emeka shouted. The driver grabbed Anita's hand and pulled her into a narrow hallway beside the parking lot, one she had not even noticed before. Her heart slammed against her ribs as she ran. "I can't see!" One of the masked men yelled from behind, "Find them! Don't let her escape!" Another shouted. Emeka ran behind Anita and the driver, making sure she didn't fall. The hallway was small, cold, and smelled like dust. "Where are we going?" Anita whispered between breaths. "The maintenance route," the driver said. "They won't find it quickly." "But what if they do?" she cried. Emeka answered, "They will." Anita stumbled but kept running. They reached a rusty door at the end of the hall. The driver slammed his shoulder into it, and it swung open with a loud crack. They rushed inside. It was a tiny concrete room, with pipes on the ceiling and a ladder leading up to a metal hatch. "Climb," Emeka ordered. Anita stared at the ladder, panic growing. I'm scared of heights," she cried. "You're scared of dying too," Emeka said gently. "Choose which fear you want to face." Her hands shook. Her legs trembled, but she climbed. One rung, then another. The metal felt cold and wet under her palms. Halfway up, she heard the sound of boots entering the maintenance hallway behind them. They found the passage. The driver cried. "Hurry, Anita," Emeka urged. She climbed faster, tears sliding down her cheeks. When she reached the hatch, she pushed it. It didn't open. "It's stuck," she sobbed. "Emeka, it's stuck." She heard him curse under his breath and climb after her. Another loud, echoing shout came from the hallway. "We see them." Don't let her reach the hatch. Anita pushed again, using all her strength. It didn't move. Emeka reached her, placed one hand beside her, and pushed the hatch with a single strong shove. The metal flew open. Fresh air rushed in. Night air. Freedom. "Go," Emeka said. Anita climbed out, rolling onto a gravel-covered rooftop. She turned quickly and reached down to help Emeka up. But before she could pull him, a masked man grabbed Emeka's leg from below. Anita screamed, "Emeka!" Emeka grunted, trying to pull free. The masked man snarled, "You can run, but she belongs to us." Another hand grabbed Emeka's ankle. 2 men were pulling him down. "No, leave him," Anita cried, pulling at Emeka's arm with all her strength. He looked up at her eyes intense, jaw tight, breath heavy. "Anita, run." She shook her head violently, tears falling. "No, I'm not leaving you." "Run," he shouted louder. But she didn't move. She couldn't. She held onto him with everything she had, her small hands gripping his wrists. And then, the masked man reached up again, this time grabbing Anita's hand. She screamed. The man's voice was dark and evil. "Your father should have stayed quiet. Now, it's your turn." He pulled hard. She lost her balance. Her other hand slipped, and suddenly, she felt herself falling, backwards, off the edge of the rooftop, into the empty air. Her scream tore through the night. "Anita!" Emeka shouted. And then, everything went black. The wind rushed past Anita's ears as she fell. The sky spun above her. The building wall flashed beside her. Her heart screamed louder than her mouth. "This is it," she thought. "I am going to die. Just like my parents." Then, thud. But it was not the sharp, breaking pain she expected. It was heavy. It was rough. It knocked the air out of her lungs. But she was still alive. She landed on something hard but not as high as the roof. Her vision blurred as dust flew into the air. For a few seconds, everything went quiet. Then she heard someone shouting from above. "Anita, Anita, can you hear me?" It was Emeka. She coughed and lifted her head weakly. She was lying on top of an old metal shed, just 1 floor below the roof. The shed shook when she landed, but it didn't break. Her body hurt all over, but she could move her arms, her legs, her fingers. She was alive. I'm here, she croaked. A loud sound exploded above her. A shout. The sound of a fight. Footsteps. Then silence. Anita tried to sit up, but pain shot through her side. Don't move, a new voice said gently from below. Madam, please don't move. She looked down. 2 security guards in dark uniforms were standing in the small compound beside the building, looking up at her with wide, scared eyes. Call ambulance, one shouted to the other. And call Ogre Emeka's number. This must be from him. Anita's eyes burned with tears. Emeka, please be safe. She prayed silently. Her vision went dark. She passed out, waking up to the truth. When Anita opened her eyes again, the world was white. White ceiling, white curtains, white walls. She blinked slowly. The smell of medicine and sanitizer filled the air. She was in a hospital. A soft beeping sound came from a machine beside her. Her left wrist had a bandage, her right arm had a drip. Her ribs hurt when she tried to breathe too deeply, but she was not broken. Easy, a calm voice said. She turned her head. Emeka was sitting on a chair beside her bed. He looked tired. His shirt was different. His eyes had dark circles under them. But he was there, alive. You're okay, she whispered. I should say that to you, he replied, a small smile touching his lips. You scared me. How long have I been here? She asked. 2 days, he said. Her eyes widened. 2 days? He nodded. They took you straight to a private hospital. No police mentioned your name. No news. We kept everything quiet. We? She asked softly. Emeka leaned back slowly. People I trust, he said. Not many, but enough. Memories started returning to Anita like pieces of a broken mirror. The underground garage, the masked men, the flash of light, the small red envelope, the ladder, the hand grabbing her, the fall. Her eyes filled. What happened after I fell? She whispered. Emeka took a deep breath. The security guards heard the noise and came, he said. The men chasing us ran when I triggered another device and set off the alarm. They didn't want to be seen. They escaped before the police arrived. So they got away? She asked. Not all of them, Emeka said quietly. We caught one. Anita's heart jumped. One of them? She whispered. Did he talk? Emeka's jaw tightened. Yes. And he confirmed something I already suspected. He looked straight at her now, his eyes serious, voice low. The man behind your parents' death, he said slowly, is the same man who has been watching your life all this time. The man who sent Mr. Oke. The man who paid the police. The man who tried to silence you again. Who? Anita whispered. Her hands were cold. Emeka's answer felt like a stone dropping into her chest. Your uncle, he said. Uncle Chika. For a moment, Anita did not understand. Her brain pushed the name away. No, she whispered. No, not Uncle Chike. He took me in after my parents died. He cried with me. He also took your parents' savings. Emeka cut in gently. He blocked you from seeing their files. He sold their small land without telling you. He made sure you stopped asking questions. Anita felt like the bed was shaking. Her uncle? The man who gave her leftover food? The man who always said, You know we don't have money. Just accept your fate. Why would he do that? She choked. Because he was part of the church scheme, Emeka said. He helped them move money. Your father found out and refused to sign some documents. Your uncle told his partners that your parents were a problem. They removed the problem. Very clean. Very quiet. Tears rolled down Anita's temples. All this time, she whispered, I was living with the man who helped kill my parents. Yes, Emeka said softly. And when you started working in a place where you could meet powerful people, they became afraid. They thought you might remember something. Or meet someone. Like me. Anita swallowed hard. So that's why they watched me, she said. That's why Mr. Oke always appeared around my area. That's why someone followed me near the school bus stop one night. Emeka nodded. They wanted to know if anyone had told you the truth. When your name entered the list last week, it meant they were done watching. It meant they were ready to end your story. Anita closed her eyes, tears dropping onto the pillow. And my uncle now? She whispered. Emeka's voice grew firm. In handcuffs, he said. The man we caught in the garage gave his name. We traced calls. Money. We took it all to a special anti-corruption unit I've been working with for years. They moved fast. Your uncle was arrested yesterday morning. Anita opened her eyes in shock. Arrested? Yes, Emeka said. And this time he will not escape. She stared at the ceiling, breathing slowly, trying to let the truth settle. Her parents had not just died. They had been betrayed by someone they trusted, just like she had been. But now, people finally knew. Will there be justice? She asked quietly. Yes, Emeka answered. There are recordings, bank records, witnesses. Your uncle and his partners will face court. The story will not be hidden anymore. Anita let out a long, shaking breath. For the first time in 6 years, the heavy stone inside her chest felt lighter, not gone, but lighter. Days passed. Anita stayed in the hospital, healing slowly. Her ribs were bruised but not broken. Her arm would be fine. The doctors said she was strong. Emeka visited every day. Sometimes he brought flowers. Sometimes jollof rice and plantain from her favorite small restaurant. Sometimes just quiet company. They talked. He told her more about her father. How he had secretly met Emeka, bringing church files and asking, "Can this help?" How he had refused bribe money. How proud he had been of Anita. "I wish I had known," she said softly, wiping tears. "He wanted to protect you," Emeka replied. "He told me, if anything happens, please make sure my daughter knows the truth one day." Anita's lips trembled. "And you kept that promise," she whispered. "Yes," Emeka said. "Even if it took too long." One bright afternoon, a woman from the anti-corruption unit visited Anita in the hospital. She explained the case kindly in simple words. "Your uncle and Mr. Oke have confessed many things," she said. "You will not suffer for this again. In fact, some of the stolen property and money your parents tried to protect will be returned to you after the court process." "Returned? To me?" Anita asked, shocked. "Yes," the woman smiled. "Your parents did not die for nothing." When the woman left, Anita turned to Emeka with wide, wet eyes. "I came to Lagos with nothing," she whispered. "Now you are telling me there might be a future." "A real one?" Emeka smiled gently. "You already had a future," he said. "You just needed the truth to see it." Back to the restaurant. Weeks later, Anita stood outside the same upscale Ikoyi restaurant with a small bag in her hand. She had left the hospital. Her body still ached sometimes, but she was strong enough to walk. Emeka stood beside her, dressed simply in a dark shirt and trousers. "Are you sure you want to do this?" he asked. "Yes," she said firmly. "I want to see where everything started." They walked inside together. The lights were the same. The music was the same. Some of the staff were the same too. Her manager, Mr. Bayo, came rushing forward, fake smile on his face. "Ah, Anita, my girl, you are back. I heard you were sick. You should have told us," he said loudly. "You suspended her," Emeka said calmly beside her. "You told her not to come back." Bayo froze when he recognized Emeka. "Ah, sir. Good evening, sir. I didn't." Emeka raised a hand. "It's fine," he said. "I'm not here to argue." He turned to Anita. "This table," he said, pointing. It was the same table from that night. The same glass wall. The same view of the road. Anita walked to it slowly, her hand brushing the white tablecloth. "This is where you left me a $0 tip," she said with a small smile. "And a note," he added. She nodded. "A note that broke my heart and healed me at the same time." They sat. A young waiter came to them. "Good evening, sir. Good evening, ma," he greeted. Anita smiled kindly. "You're doing well," she told him. "Don't let anyone make you feel small." The boy looked surprised, then smiled back shyly. Emeka ordered for both of them. Later, when the bill came, he took a pen and wrote something on the receipt. Anita raised an eyebrow. "No secret note this time, I hope," she said. He chuckled. "No secrets," he replied. "Just one last promise." They stood to leave. Anita glanced at the tip tray. Her eyes widened. There was not $1, not 10, not even 100. There was a thick stack of cash. "For the staff," Emeka said quietly. And for the next girl who thinks her life will always stay the same. Tears filled Anita's eyes. Outside the restaurant, the evening sun washed the road in gold. What now? She asked softly. Emeka looked at her. Now, he said, we build. Build what? She smiled. A new life, he replied. For you. For the people your parents died trying to help. A small foundation in their name. A scholarship fund. Maybe even your own restaurant one day, where every worker is treated with respect. Her heart swelled. My parents' names. On the door? She whispered. Yes, he nodded. She wiped her tears and smiled through them. For the first time, she said, I'm not scared of tomorrow. They walked down the Ikoyi street together. Cars passed, people moved, life went on. But inside Anita's heart, something huge had changed. She had the truth. She had justice. She had a future. A billionaire CEO once left her a $0 tip, but the note he hid under the plate that night had given her something far more precious than money. It had given her her life back. Thanks for watching. Please like this video and subscribe to our channel for more videos.